The example I have is that I want to convert 1.79 yard to centimeters. So we remember that we need to use our tools. The tools, I either know them or they are given to me. One of the tools that I have been given is that 1 meter is equivalent to 1.094 yard. The other information I have is that 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeter. Now my goal is to go from yard to centimeter. Now I want to take your attention to this particular problem. In this particular problem where I'm trying to go from yard to centimeter, neither of these information gives me a direct connection between yard and centimeter. I either know something between yard and meter, or I know between centimeter and meter, but nothing about yard and centimeter. So in this particular case, you can use a medium, which is meter for you. So this means that you have to go two-step process. So first convert yard to meter. That's something you know how to do it because the relationship between meter and yard is given. And then you have to go from meters to centimeter because you also know how to do it. So some of you may say that this problem is a hard problem compared to what we did previously when we were converting meters to centimeters or grams to kilograms. This is a little more complex than the previous problem, not because it's harder, because it's composed of 2 easy steps. Previous problems were 1 easy step. Now you have to deal with 2 easy steps. That's why it looks more difficult than the previous problem. Most of the problems that you see in chemistry and you feel it's difficult. In fact, the way to solve that problem is to break it to simpler questions. So if you had asked yourself, what is the relationship between yard and meter? That was an easy to do problem. What's the relationship between meters and centimeter? That's also very easy to do problem. But when it comes to yard to centimeter, since it's 2-step, it looks more difficult for you. And with more practice, you will get specialized and skilled in solving more complex problems. As you see in this particular problem, the first step is convert yard to meter. How did we did this? By using this unit conversion in this particular form, where yard is in the denominator and you can get rid of them. Is meter what you want as final answer? No, you want centimeter. So in the next step, you get rid of meters and you convert it to centimeter, which is your desirable unit for report. And obviously at the end, you have to report it based on your knowledge on significant figure rules. So these are your givens. Our conceptual plan is that we cannot do it in 1 step. We have to convert from yard to meter and from meter to centimeter. This is when you are realizing how you can use the tools that you have. And the tools you have in your toolbox is this information. You reach your toolbox and you take it. And then you are using this tool. You know that 1 meter is 100 centimeter. And you apply them in proper fashion as shown in the solution section, and you solve your problem by unit conversion and dimensional analysis. At the end, we rounded to 3 significant figures because we had 3 significant figures. And you can also check that there are more centimeters than yards. So one of the tools we learned previously was density. We said density gives you a relationship between mass and volume. You can use it as a conversion factor. When I'm talking about density of water being 1 gram per 1 milliliter, I can simply say 1 gram of water is equivalent to 1 milliliter of water. And then I can say 1 gram of water being equivalent to 1 milliliter of water. I can use this as conversion factor. Or I can use this as conversion factor. And that simply relates to the fact that if I want to get rid of milliliters and convert it to grams, or if I want to get rid of grams and convert it to milliliters, based on those, you use either this tool or this tool to solve your problem. So here we have an example. Another example is lead. The density of lead as a tool is 11.3 grams per cubic centimeter. This is not something that you need to know. That will be provided. But given this, you know that 11.3 grams of lead is equivalent to 1 cubic centimeter of lead, because we said density is 11.3 grams in 1 cubic centimeter. The same way that we said there are 100 centimeters in 1 meters, you can say there are 11.3 grams of lead in 1 cubic centimeter of lead. So those are equivalent, and you can use them as conversion factors. Now, if someone asks you how much does 4 cubic centimeter of lead weigh, your known is 4 cubic centimeter lead. Your unknown is grams of lead. And you know the tool that relates cubic volume to mass is density. So you use this tool. But when I say 11.3 grams per cubic centimeter, I can say either 11.3 grams of lead over 1 cubic centimeter lead is equivalent to 1, so I can multiply. Or I can say 1 cubic centimeter lead over 11.3 grams of lead. That's equivalent to 1. Since I want to get rid of cubic centimeter of lead, I use the fraction where cubic centimeter is in the denominator, so I choose this one. So I say 1 cubic centimeter is equivalent to 11.3 grams of lead, and I solve my problem. So that's what we did, and you put it in your calculator, you get 45.2, but since you have only 2 significant figures to use, you will report 45. That's basically my introduction for you in terms of solving problems using unit conversions. Obviously, when we are going to talk about moles, you will be able to convert moles to number of molecules, for example. Or when we are talking about molecular weight, you know how many grams are in 1 mole. So you can use that as a unit conversion. So these are some heads up for future upcoming concepts that we are going to tackle. But you need to be skilled to these foundations in order to be able to solve those problems. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.